Am I the butthole for excluding my children's siblings? Happy New Year, Reddit. I hope everyone is enjoying their holiday weekend. I am a 44 male who you can call Dave, and I have 2 kids. Oldest child is 16 female Sarah and youngest is 14 male Alex. I am no longer with their mother. No bad blood there. She's a good mom and we split custody 50-50. We parent well together too. My kids stay with their mom 1 week and stay with me 1 week except for the summer where I have them more because I have a beach house that the 3 of us migrate to. It's something my kids look forward to and my daughter would like to move into when she's 18, but that's a separate conversation lol. The problem is my ex remarried and had more children with her current husband and they are upset the new children aren't experiencing the same life. Their family as a whole isn't very well off and I'm guessing that they struggle. They've never been on a vacation and can't afford to eat out, so I can see where the kids might feel excluded in life. I send my kids a weekly allowance via Venmo. It's not a lot in my opinion. I give Alex 30 and Sarah 50, extra for female products/needs, and that alone has caused arguments. They'll go to McDonald's and the 3 other kids throw a fit. This past Christmas, I had my 2 on Christmas Eve and we did gifts then as well. I got my son a Switch with some games, clothes, sports gear, and an IOU for a PS5 when it's available. He thought it was funny and not mean by the way. For my daughter I let her pick out her clothes, and got her a new camera and MacBook. I understand this is a lot, but I don't have any other responsibilities. We had a good evening and my kids were very happy. My son kicked my butt in Mario Kart and my daughter took some holiday photos, but on Christmas evening their mom called and had frank conversation about making their siblings feel like less as they got board games and action figures. This turned into me not furthering their relationship with trips and stuff to the beach house, and how they always begged to go and experience it. Which I won't lie, one of them did ask me to do in the past. I just don't feel comfortable or wanting to do that, and Alex doesn't care while Sarah flat out doesn't want it. I do feel bad, but I don't think I have a responsibility to their kids, and my kids shouldn't have to hide their joy or possessions. My son refuses to share his Switch at their house and I told his mother it is his to as he wishes and if she took away without real cause or forced him to share I would take issue with this because he's a just young person who's not aiming to hurt anyone. I told my ex that I was planning a trip to Disney after COVID and it really hit the fan. Her ex wants it all cancelled as their oldest girl is a Disney fanatic. My ex wants it cancelled because the other 2 once thought Santa loved them less and everything was damaging their kids mentally. Am I the butthole with not including their kids? Edit: I left this out by mistake but my daughter got a car for her 16th birthday that has caused more issues as well. My ex and her current husband felt she shouldn't have a new car. The fact that his was nicer than theirs was not brought up to me personally but my son said his mom complained about it to her husband. I did not hear this firsthand. NTA, but maybe the presents should be clearly from you, not Santa next year so the kids don't think Santa doesn't like them as much. They're 16 and 14. They definitely know Santa didn't bring presents. The mom's family ought to drop the Santa charade, though. They're talking about the younger kids from the ex's remarriage, not Op's 2 children. The younger ones are who felt like Santa loved them less. I think they meant Op's kids know they are from him and not from Santa. And he isn't telling the other kids they are from Santa, so that isn't on him. The little kids think all Christmas gifts are from Santa. But it's not Dave's responsibility that his ex won't talk to her own kids about divorce and half-siblings. Why would they think all gifts are from Santa? From the age my kids were old enough to understand, we made it clear that most was from us and there was a clear distinction which ones. Edit: to add, no teenager should have a brand new car. To me that's just ridiculous. That's also a large purchase and should be discussed with both parents first. If my ex bought my son a car, any car, without discussing it with me first I would be upset. I think what they're trying to say is that when little kids are told all of their gifts are from Santa then they assume it's the same for everyone. That's their parents' fault, not Op. Their parents are causing any feelings about Santa not caring about them as much. Agreed. I definitely don't put the blame for that on Op. Their actual parents need to step up. Right, but who tells their kids that? For me and my kids it's always been stockings are from Santa, presents are labeled for mom and dad, or grandparents or whoever. A Disney trip is something that would be labeled as from a real person. Or possibly the cats. Sometimes my cats give gifts. Off on a tangent, but this really does make me quite cross. We are very fortunate that we have always been able to get great Christmas presents for the kids, but they have always been from us. Santa presents have always been small token gifts like a book and a sketch pad and pencils, things like that. I would be absolutely mortified and heartbroken if some other kid felt bad because ours got a Switch or a bike and they got something small in comparison from Santa. There is no shame in that, we just happen to be in a lucky position. Believe me, when we were growing up we were on the other end of the situation, so I always make sure the big stuff comes from us. I really thought that was the unwritten rule anyway. That's on the parents. I am very clear with my son that Santa only brings one gift. It is clearly marked in Santa paper. I would never take the risk of upsetting other people's children by thinking Santa got less for them. My son is 5 and he understands this very clearly. If he can understand it, they can too. They is true only if their parents teach them that. My 4-year-old doesn't believe that. She believes in Santa, but she also knows when a gift is from her mom. This is why the Santa myth can be really damaging, leaving some kids wondering why Santa didn't bring them a games console, no matter how good they were. Santa should bring stocking fillers, and big gifts are from who they are from. I have to say that although my kids get a lot of tat from Santa, I keep the good gifts for us to give to them. Mostly so the children who don't get much don't get their noses ground in the expensive Santa gifts. It's crap that Santa gets one kid a Switch whilst others get bugger all, particularly when we tie his gifting to behavior. Plus, I'm not letting the fat man take the credit for my hard work. My father grew up poor in post-World War II Germany. He would see the other kids at school get gifts from Father Christmas while he got nothing. Instead of telling him the truth, his parents told him he wasn't good enough that year, which always confused him because he thought he was as good as the other kids. This messed with his head even until he was in his 80s. It's an awful lie to tell kids, and I wish it would stop. Just because some parents are freaking stupid doesn't mean everyone has to stop enjoying Christmas. Good grief. Why do they need an imaginary gift giver to enjoy Christmas? Reddit, is Santa the butthole? Santa? It can be magical when done right, and your poor grandfather was definitely not treated right, which is terrible. The most wonderful thing about it for my family has been, as my older children stopped believing, we took them aside, told them everything, and now they are Santa with us. They still get their bits, but they help pick things for and enjoy their younger siblings' delight in the magic. Santa isn't a person in our house, he's the spirit of all the love and care we have for one another, and we show that by the little things we choose for each other throughout the year that remind us of the special family times. I love going places with my boys and to see them thinking of little things their siblings would like. All our family get involved, and if they go on holiday, weirdly Santa gets a magnet or pencil from that place. It gives us all joy even after the secret is out. Most of the time in my house, Santa was a stocking and a toy that was left close to them. At least one year I remember it being a Care Bear, for me. There were some more expensive things, but not much. I'm in a city in Scotland, and it went round on Facebook this year not to put pictures on of what your kids got this year because of the kids who didn't get as much this year because of their parents struggling. I always give my daughter the big presents from Santa, and I really wish I hadn't started, and just put them from me in case she's talking to a friend who didn't get as much. When my oldest was 5, I was a single mom, and it was a bad Christmas financially. She was little and easy to please, so it didn't take a lot to make her happy. However, when she was done, she looked at me and said, "Where's yours?" and proceeded to bawl because she thought Santa didn't like me. I wish I would have had the nerve to tell her there was no Santa, but it had already been a really rocky year and I just didn't want to take that yet. I told her that grown-ups don't get as much as kiddos, so I had Santa leave my present at Grandma's. I knew I'd have something at my mom's to open. She was satisfied, and I made sure the next year I had a few little things to open. That was the last year she believed in Santa, and when I married and gave birth to my youngest, my husband and I agreed to not push Santa. It was hard navigating when she went to school and Santa was everywhere, but we made it through, and I don't think she crushed any other kid's belief. I will never forget how devastated my oldest was, though. Broke my damn heart. There is no point in letting your kids believe in Santa. I never believed in Christmas was just as magical growing up. Plus, I never was upset that my friends got much nicer gifts than me. My parents had less money and more kids. I knew that. I understood how it related to my gifts, and it bothered me much less than if they had lied and said Santa gave me my gifts. He just gave your friend many more gifts. Same with Elf on a Shelf. Teach your kids empathy and that rule breaking has consequences. Don't teach them that there are spies watching them and tattling whatever wrong thing they do. I promised myself that when the kiddo was born that if she ever asked me a direct question about the reality of something, I wouldn't lie. Santa was done at age 2. She took in stride, as she did with the Tooth Fairy and Easter Bunny. 4 years later, when she discovered Bikini Bottom was not a real location? Now that was a crisis. I'm going out on a limb here and saying 14 and 16-year-olds probably don't believe they are gifts from Santa. No one said they did. The 2 youngest do. Someone is miscommunicating this to them and needs to explain the gifts are from their father, not Santa. The bio kids are teens. Original post never said the presents were from Santa. That's just what Ops X is telling the new batch of kids instead of explaining that original post can afford things that they can't. Yes, it's great you take care of your kids, and shouldn't feel bad that you can give them better, but if their kids are younger and still believe in Santa, that can be hurtful. His kids are 14 and 16. If anyone's telling the other kids that Santa is the one giving them those gifts, it's either the 2 kids themselves or Ops X. And in that case, the issue is with presents can be resolved by explaining that their dad was the one who got the stuff, not Santa. Who said the presents were from Santa? He never did. His ex said that. I hate to break it to you, but kids don't pay that close of attention to who got them what. I was a poor kid, and when my friends and I would share what we got, we just listed it. I still to this day have no clue what Santa got me and what my parents got me. I didn't pay attention to that when I was little either. NTA, they're not your kids, so not your responsibility. Besides, your kids aren't exactly keen on having their half-siblings with them as well, so it's unfair that your ex-wife is demanding the same treatment for her and her new husband's kids. Your kids are old enough to decide for themselves and they are enjoying their time with you, their dad. Definitely NTA. P.S. I applaud you for giving Sarah extra allowance. Being a girl is unnecessarily expensive. Kudos. I don't know how it is for girls. Is it really $80 extra a month for a teenager, who, hopefully, does get most of her needs taken care of by her parents? I'm sincerely curious and don't mean to be rude. I would appreciate if you explained it to me. Edit. Well, damn. Thanks to everyone who replied. I can't individually thank you all, but it's an overwhelming and informational response. ETA, 80 a month, not 20, sorry. Still is reasonable in my eyes though, if you consider the age difference along with the gender. A box of tampons can cost $10 to $15. Add a pink tax to anything designed for women, and yes, things for girls are quite a bit pricier. Next time you're at the store, compare the price of men's and women's razors. Lol, oh, the pink tax is a great way to put it. The industry literally calls it that. It's such a racket. Same product but pink. OMG, must cost more. Not bitter at all, I swear. Pink, cost more, and usually be a smaller size. There is a product I love called Body Glide. The For Her version apparently adds moisturizing, but it's literally half the size of the original blue version. But again, shouldn't toiletries be supplied by parents? My daughter has never bought that stuff, only thing I can think is makeup, which she does get from us, but if she wants the good stuff has to buy herself. Yes, toiletries should be supplied by parents, but often, parents don't value their kids' needs very highly and the kids end up with awful quality products that don't work or can even be harmful. My own mom refused outright to buy me body wash and face wash that I wasn't allergic to because of cost. I had to skip lunches all through high school in order to save up my lunch money to buy soap that didn't make me break out in hives. It sounds like Original Post is simply getting ahead of the curve here and giving his daughter an allowance that lets her get the product she wants/needs without hassling her mom, who can't really afford better ones anyway. My mom wouldn't buy me tampons when I lived at home. Only pads. With my endometriosis, I had super heavy periods and pads would leak constantly, making for many embarrassing middle school moments. I bought my own tampons once I was old enough to get a job. I needed tampons and pads at the same time to survive my endo, and even then I had several incidents where my mom had to bring me changes of clothes. I once had to leave work with my sweatshirt tied around my waist and drive to Walmart and replace the clothing on the lower half of my body and started keeping changes of pants and underwear and socks at work. Even then, I still had multiple instances of having to scrub blood out of carpet because of springing a leak less than an hour in on a new tampon and having it run down my leg in a stream. I finally had a hysterectomy, still recovering, but I am looking forward to not dealing with it anymore. Hello. When using pads, a tip that has worked for my friends and I is that we wear 2 sets of underwear, one on which the pad goes, and then another so that the wings of the pads which go underneath and stick onto the other side of underwear one don't move, because underwear 2 prevents them coming off. Although I understand this is a bit much, but this tip was useful for us because tampons were not available when I was growing up. Oh yeah, I feel for you. My birther also bought me pads only. The cheapest, most crappy available, so even though I don't have endo, the pads leaked regularly. Years, tampons and menstruation cup later, I still have this irrational paralyzing fear of leakage. Yeah, my mom would go on frequent expensive trips and save money by making us always use the free hotel soaps and shampoos at home. The soap would sometimes sting my skin and the shampoo was never right for my hair, so I had to buy my own soap and shampoo. Then she started buying cheapo toilet paper that would abrade my skin to where I bleed. So I started buying my own toilet paper too. Then mom wanted to use the nicer products I spent my own money on. No. Thank you for watching. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube. And share them with your friends. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. We welcome your comments below. Another of our videos will begin shortly.